Most people don't lose respect in one explosive moment. It happens quietly, slowly, in tiny interactions that seem harmless on their own, but together they tell the whole story. You don't notice it at first. Nobody does. But one day you look around and realize something changed. People reply to you when it's convenient for them, not when you ask. People cancel plans and don't even bother offering a real reason. People talk to you only when they want something, never when they want to give. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It builds. And it builds in the exact moments where you stay silent, where you minimize yourself, where you let someone treat you in a way that you would never accept if you had more confidence. Respect is lost in the moments where you try to stay nice, because here's the silent truth. Most people don't respect nice. They respect boundaries, presence, and a sense of self that isn't shaken by convenience or chaos. Respect is a quiet power. You don't shout for it. You don't beg for it. And you definitely don't try to impress people into giving it to you. When people sense that you lead your life with intention, when you're not desperate for approval, they start adjusting around you. They talk differently. They act differently. They think twice before crossing a line. But the moment you start bending too far, you lose your gravity. People stop taking you seriously because you stopped taking yourself seriously first. Respect begins with one rule. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. There are many subtle signals that tell people whether you are a person to respect or a person to overlook. One of the biggest, how quickly you respond, not to messages, but to the way people behave around you. When someone disrespects you, even slightly, your response sets the standard. Ignore it, and you teach them it was acceptable. Address it calmly and directly, and you teach them they hit a wall they cannot cross. Another signal is how you carry yourself in silence. Most people fill silence with nervous explanations, excuses, or over-talking, but confident people use silence as a tool. They speak less, but what they say lands harder. They look at people directly and not aggressively, but with presence. A steady gaze is more powerful than 100 loud words. People notice those things. Humans are built to read microsignals, even when we don't consciously realize it. And whether they admit it or not, they adjust their behavior around those who move with intention. If you want more respect, don't chase it. Become the person who naturally demands it without trying. But here's the twist: respect isn't built by acting tough. It's built by mastering 5 psychological power moves most people overlook. And once you learn them, interactions change instantly. The first psychological power move is deceptively simple. Stop rewarding low-effort behavior. Most people don't realize how often they hand out attention, energy, and emotional investment to people who haven't earned even a fraction of it. Someone messages you only when they're bored. You reply instantly. Someone gives you half interest and you respond with full commitment. Someone puts in minimal effort and you match it with maximum enthusiasm. That creates an imbalanced one where they feel like a prize and you feel like an option. People value what they have to earn. It's human nature. When something requires no effort, it loses meaning. When people know you're always available, they start treating you like background noise. But the moment you stop giving energy to low-effort actions, everything shifts. You stop responding instantly. You stop over-expleting. You stop trying to keep conversations alive when the other person clearly isn't invested. You give people the amount of energy they show, not more. This doesn't mean being rude or cold. It means being intentional. It means understanding that your time, presence, and focus are not free items anyone can just grab. When people feel your value, they rise to meet it or they fall away, and either outcome is a win for you. The second psychological power move is even more subtle. Speak less, observe more. Most people talk to fill space. They ramble, they try to prove their worth through explanations and details nobody asked for. But the people who command respect, they choose their words deliberately. They don't talk to be heard. They talk to make something land. When you speak less, people pay more attention. Silence creates gravity. It forces others to lean in. It makes your presence feel stronger without you doing anything extra. And the best part, observing gives you insight. When you listen more, you begin to notice patterns others miss: tone shifts, micro-expressions, inconsistencies, power plays, hidden motives. You understand the room before you say a single word. There's a reason powerful people don't rush to speak. They watch, they wait, they understand before they respond. That patience makes their words hit harder when they finally choose to use them. Here's the psychological trick. When you don't rush to fill silence, other people start revealing themselves. They start talking more. They start seeking your reaction. They start adjusting what they say because your quiet confidence forces them to think before they speak. Just by speaking less, you flip the dynamic. When combined, these 2 power moves, protecting your energy and mastering silence, change the entire way people engage with you. They start showing effort. They start respecting your space. They start choosing their words carefully. Your presence becomes something to navigate, not something to overlook. But these are just the beginning. The real transformation happens when you add the next layer to advanced power moves that instantly shift how people perceive you the moment you walk into a room. There's a point in life where you look around and suddenly understand something most people never realize. Respect isn't a coincidence. It doesn't fall into your lap, and it doesn't come from wishing harder or being nicer. It comes from the way you move, the tone you carry, the boundaries you enforce without raising your voice. It's built through tiny signals you send out every day, signals that either elevate you or slowly drain your power without you noticing. But here's the truth: people avoid because it sounds uncomfortable. You've probably been teaching people how to treat you without even realizing it. Every time you reply instantly, tolerate disrespect, over-explain or agree just to avoid tension, you're broadcasting your value, and people respond to that broadcast with perfect accuracy. The good news: you can flip that signal anytime. Real respect starts with something deeper than attitude. It starts with internal permission. You allow yourself to say less. You allow yourself to take your time. You allow yourself to step back instead of chasing. You allow yourself to stop shrinking just to keep the peace. Once this shift happens internally, the world outside has no choice but to adjust. Presence is the real power move. It's not about dominating a room, it's about grounding yourself so fully that other people feel it before you speak. And presence comes from scarcity and certainty. When you stop making yourself endlessly available, your value rises instantly. When you stop seeking approval, people automatically view you as someone whose choices carry weight. And when you speak only when you actually have something to say, your words become sharper, heavier, more respected. Most people ruin the respect they could have by doing too much. They scramble, they chase, they compensate, they talk over themselves trying to prove value. But the secret is simple: the less you try to convince, the more people believe. High-value individuals move with calm intention. They answer messages when it fits their schedule, not their fear. They say no without decorating it. They step back when the energy feels wrong. These aren't big dramatic moves, they're micro-behaviors that communicate self-respect, and people feel those signals instantly, even if they can't explain why. Then comes the move almost nobody talks about: the recalibration. When someone crosses a line, you don't explode, you simply change your tone. Slow your rhythm, and let the warmth fade just a little. That subtle shift says more than any speech ever could. It teaches people exactly where the line is and how seriously you take it. Once you master this, something surprising happens. People become more careful with you, more respectful, more thoughtful. You stop getting tested. You stop getting drained. Your space becomes lighter because your boundaries become stronger. This isn't about becoming harsh. It's about becoming undeniable.